This video is part of a series. Complete the previous videos in this playlist before you start this video. The complete playlist information, the material and the code file information is given in the video description below.
So until now, we have discussed some of the AI agents and then using different tools, exposing these tools to these agents so that this agent uses all those tools. One of the last application that we have seen is we have used Google searching, Wikipedia, Archive to create a PPT. And usually if you get all this information, it's not really creating a PPT, but it is giving the content that can be used to fill a PPT. That is what we have seen before the break. Now there are something called toolkits. Until now we have seen tools. Now a combination of several tools put together will create a toolkit which will do slightly complex tasks. One of such toolkit, in fact there are several toolkits and tools that are available. One such toolkit is CSV agent. So what it does is it will try to use multiple tools, a tool like LLM Math, a tool like Python REPL, a tool like calculation, or a tool like SQL. It will use multiple tools to give us the final output. A toolkit is a combination of the tools. So one such toolkit is CSV toolkit. So let me tell you how does that work. Let's go to our code file. CSV agent is that toolkit. CSV agent. From LangChain, experimental agent toolkits, import create CSV agent. Now the use of this, the way we use it is, I will say my LLM is OpenAI, and then my agent is create CSV agent. Here I will say my LLM is equal to LLM. Now I will give my data set. Imagine I have a data set called bankmarket.csv. So somewhere I have this bankmarket.csv file. So this is the file. First I will get this file. Once you have this file, you can access it. Now, what is the use of this create CSV agent? Now, you can have a conversation with this data set. Now, this is a data set, and usually, if I want to do any analysis on this data set, usual process is you're supposed to write a Python code. For example, if I want to know what are the column names in this data set, I have to first import it into a Pandas data frame, and then I will write pd.columns.values. That is how I will get the names of all the columns. But if you are working with agents, agent will take care of it internally. And this is a create CSV agent, which is a kind of using multiple tools. We haven't used any of the tool we haven't specified. Internally, it will use multiple tools. And one of the tool that it will use is Python. And when you're running Python code, it may hamper your system. Sometimes somebody might use that Python code execution for kind of tweaking our internal system. So that is why LangChain is taking this confirmation from us. Are you ready to allow to run this dangerous code? We are saying yes, true. That means we are allowing Python code to run. Now, if I want to print the column names, agent.run, I would ask the question, what are the column names in the data set? Once I execute it, let's say I store it in a result and then try to print result. Since I have kept verbose equal to true, we will get to see what is happening. Then the agent created a thought. I can use the dot columns attribute to find it. So it has used Python REPL assistant tool internally. So it has internally created this Python code. You have given a plain English text. Internally Python code was created. After executing that internal Python code, we got the output. The column names in the data set are these. These are the column names in the data set. So you have asked for the column names. Column names are given to you, but not by directly accessing the data. If you give this data to LLM and then ask for the column names, you would have used a different technique. But here an agent is creating the Python code, executing the Python code, and then giving you the final answer. So in future, if somebody wants to do data analysis, you don't really need coding. There will be an agent like this which will come and attach to your browser or to your IDE or whatever is the So sometimes even in Google, you will see analyze with Gemini or something where without writing the Python code, you will be able to do a lot of analysis. For example, if I want to know what is the average age of customers, so for that, I will write agent.run. What is the average age of customers? Internally, Python code will be created. That code will be executed dataframe.age.mean, and then the average age of customers is this one. If I want to ask a slightly complex question, that means are there any outliers in the data set? Outliers means some of the extreme values. Do they exist? I should check for the outliers by checking the distribution of numerical values, etc., etc. Multiple analysis it is doing. It is going through multiple iterations. Finally, it may give us two options. One is I'm not able to find outliers, or I think it looks like it is going to hit the kind of point where it says that there are like it has created these many graphs. Finally, agent stopped due to iteration time limit. It has given us some output, but agent did not give us accurately exactly what we are looking for. Let me ask the question. Are there any outliers in a particular column? Let's give the column name. Are there any outliers in the column bank balance? So, are there any outliers in the column balance? So now I'm restricting it to look at only balance, and then it'll do the analysis. Yes, finish the chain. Yes, there are outliers, and it has created some graph and it has given us the answer. Usually for a data analyst, it will take at least 10 to 15 minutes time to go through this and analyze this. But here code is written and automatically we are getting the output. So what I'm trying to tell you here is there is no more coding required in future. You just need to give the right prompt, and then you should know what is the expected answer. You should understand how the answer is looking like. Once you know how to handle the input and output, the coding part will be taken care by a lot of the tools or the agents. Almost everything that we are going to use, every software we are going to use will be attached to an agent. There is a similar agent called SQL database agent. Right now I have written the command, or I have written the prompt. Internally, Python code got created. What if can I do it to an SQL? Yes, you can do that by using SQL database agent. So what does that SQL database agent do? Let's say if you have a SQL database and can I give natural language, normal language, how many customers are there in this table? What is the average sales in this region? Or which country has the maximum sales? Such kind of questions, if somebody asks, we have to write SQL query. Is it possible that there is an agent which will understand your natural language and try to access the database, execute the queries, write the queries on its own, execute the queries and give you the output? Yes, it is possible. So there is one database file that we will use. This is one of the sample database file. I think this is publicly available. This is the database file. We will also see the tables and so on from this database file. So I will get this database file and then the code goes like this. So we will say my database is equal to SQL database. Sometimes you may have to give user password, etc., etc. if there is a kind of user password, everything given to it. Otherwise, you will directly define for this. This is for SQL server if that server is secured. Otherwise, directly you can use DB. So the other option, alternative option, if your database is secured, then in that case you will use database user. You have to define database user equal to whatever is the username, database password, database host, etc., etc. You have to use this manner, but we will not be using that because there is no ID password for this database. Directly we are creating this database. So for some time I will ignore this one. Database is created. Now I will use this SQL database toolkit. Earlier it was CSV toolkit. Now it is SQL database toolkit. So my toolkit is equal to SQL database toolkit. Use my database and use the LLM as OpenAI. Then once this toolkit is ready, which is SQL database toolkit, I would say my agent underscore executor equal to create SQL agent, use the LLM, use this toolkit. So once this is ready, all that it requires is just a natural language as input. So if I say agent dot execute, let me call this as SQL database agent. That sounds better. Then I would say SQL database agent. Then I will ask a very basic question. List the table names. List the table names in the database. It will run the query it will run the query internally and then give us the output. Sometimes it may get into this kind of loop. Agents are not perfect, but after several times it is doing that. List the tables in the database. Error, it has found an error. Let me re-execute once again. Otherwise, I will write it somewhat in a different manner. What are the table names? Maybe what are the table names in the database? So I think now it is getting the values. Somewhere internally it is getting, but it is not able to think and stop that. Like these are all the table names, city, country, language, and there are, I should query the schema. It is generating the thought, but it is not able to come out of that. Maybe let me ask a slightly different question. What is the list the total sales per country? Which country's customers have the maximum sales? Looks like SQL database itself while we are creating, I might have missed. Let me go through that code and see where I could have gone wrong. So this is the location. I'll make sure that we are using the same location. It's understanding our query, but it is not able to generate any output internally. The list total sales per country, agent stop due to. This is one of the biggest issue with agent right now. One of the issue is agent stop due to the iteration limit. The other issue is agent stop due to the fact that there are too many tokens used. The other issue is agent could not understand your output, or it has given you the error as the output. I will try it one more time, and then if it works, we will use it. Otherwise, we will just ignore this. SQL.agent, shall I use invoke? Did I miss that? Invoke and then or run agent executor dot run. Does it work? Or invoke, does it work? Still it is throwing some error internally. What I'll do is I'll go to that SQL place and then execute from there itself. SQL agent, this is our file. Looks like we have to get that file. This is the file. So here I have asked the question, list the total sales per country. It is still throwing an error. I'll ignore that, go to the next command. Again, it is throwing the error. We'll go to the next one. Agent stop due to iterations. So here I would like to stop and say that some of the problems with the agents are like this is one of the most prominent issue that we get. Agent is not able to understand our requirement. What happens is when this is happening, the only solution that is suggested right now is you change the prompt, you make it much more elaborate. That is one option. Sometimes even if you change the prompt, you will still persist with these errors. Then the only option given is you execute multiple times until you get the output. You execute it multiple times so that the internally SQL will get to understand what is your requirement and throws you the output that you are looking for. But as of now, that is not a solid solution that we should be checking. You also execute it. Let us see whether it works in your system or not. All of you go here to SQL agent. Try this SQL agent. Let us see if all of us execute. Any one of us may get the output. Instead of giving from SQL Scenic database, I will give it from local. Let us see. I'll just try it with one more option and then see. Would not parse this one argument error. Some of the tables it is able to find out customers, invoices, etc. But after that, it is hitting some kind of error. For now, we will leave it. It used to work well earlier, SQL database toolkit. There must be some modification that would have been happening in this. Because of that, it is getting into this loop. Okay. You may want to try this later on, SQL database agent toolkit, and check what are the various other options within LangChain for it. You may want to see the documentation. We have used the same one. We will try to use the latest one as of now. Nope. So I will just leave it here. It's not that the agent is not working, but in its thinking, it is not able to go and generate the SQL code. Earlier, the CSV agent was working fine. It was able to understand our requirement and generate the Python code. If an agent can generate the Python code, an agent must not have any problem in generating the SQL code. Only thing, maybe in this particular toolkit, there would have been some bug, or we might be missing some kind of command or something with some update we might be doing. So that I would leave it to you to explore later on. Until now, we have used the agents that are already existing. We have used the tools that are already pre-existing. Sometimes you may have to have a situation where you may have to create your own tool. You may have to create the tool that doesn't exist earlier. For example, if you want to build an application, in that application, you want to show today's date and time. So if you want to create an agent, let us suppose I am using LLM is equal to OpenAI, and I'm using Wikipedia. Now I have created an agent and I am asking a simple question to this agent. Agent dot run, what is the capital of India? This Wikipedia would definitely give me the answer. It'll give me, it'll have all these thoughts and it'll say New Delhi is the capital of India. Now let me shut off the verbose. You will get the output without any issue. But if I ask what is today's date? What is today's date? Do you think if I ask Wikipedia what is today's date? Wikipedia, that is not a right tool. So it will do something. The final answer to your question is July 15, 2020 is today's date. Obviously, that is not today's date. What is today's date? What is the current date and time? Maybe you are creating an agent that has to access current date and time, both of them. In that case, you may not use, or even if you use SERP API, or even if you use search engine page results, that may not be accurate, or it is an overkill, or we don't want to pay to an API just for getting date and time. For that, we can create our own custom tool. What is custom tool? Your own tool. You're creating a tool and you will expose that tool to LangChain, or you will expose that tool to the agent so that the agent will use that tool. For that, how do you do it? You will import the tool, and then a tool is nothing but a function. You just write a function and then you add a decorator called tool. So first I will define a function. Definition of the function is the date time tool. Let me call it as date time tool, or maybe just the date is also fine. Date time tool. It will take the string as input and it will give the output. And you have to give a detailed instruction here so that later on when the agent is thinking, whenever somebody is asking a question about the current date and time, this tool to be referred. That means we have to write a clear doc string or clear documentation or a clear instruction here. This function takes the input as an empty string and returns current date and time. Only use this function for this purpose. Only use this function for the current date and time. Do not use it for any other task like internet searching or anything, then that will be wrong. And then once you write this description, agent will use it in its thinking or when it is choosing the current date and time. After that, you try to write import date time, return date time right now. And this is kind of formatting strf time, strp time. Strf time will convert dates into strings. Strp time will convert strings into dates. So basically we will get this date and we will try to print it as a string. Now, this is the function that I have written. On top of it, you just add a decorator called tool. Then this becomes a tool. You can use it like a tool. The tool name is date time tool. So I will use the same code here. Earlier I have given Wikipedia. Now I will append one more tool, tools.append, append this date time tool. Now, if I ask what is the current date and time, it must give me exactly today's date and time 2025 9:28. Like probably this is not the IST Indian Standard Time. Some other time, probably it is GMT, it is giving us this, but the date is correct. What happens internally if you want to see that? Internally, I should use the date time tool and then the date time, etc. So those who are creating very complex agents, what they are doing is they are using the pre-existing tools. And if there's a tool that is not helping them, if there's a tool that is not kind of sufficient for solving a particular problem that is in hand, people are writing their own tool and then asking the agent to use that tool. Whatever task you want to do, write a tool for it, let the agent use it, and write a clear, detailed instruction when to use this tool, when not to use this tool. Then agent will act accordingly. So there are some tools that are pre-existing. There are some toolkits that are pre-existing. Sometimes if it is not existing and if it is not solving your purpose, you may have to write your own tool. Writing a custom tool is done by adding just this decorator called tool at the rate tool. One such pre-existing toolkit that is available right now is Pandas data frame agent. There is something called Pandas data frame agent. It is similar to CSV agent that we have seen earlier. CSV agent will take your data and solve it by creating Python code internally, or you can create a data frame. You can use Pandas data frame agent also. So I will get a data set. I think we will first create this data frame agent is equal to data frame agent. Create Pandas data frame agent. Now here you are supposed to give a data frame. So let me get a data frame. My data frame equal to pd dot. First we have to import Pandas. Import Pandas, and then pd dot read underscore csv. Your data frame is income data or bank marketing data. Any of them you can get. Now create Pandas data frame agent. That also we have to import. Import. Create Pandas data frame agent. Create Pandas data frame agent has been moved to LangChain experimental. So which means we have to write, instead of writing LangChain.agents, we have to write LangChain experimental. LangChain experimental. Is it dot experimental? Somewhere we have used LangChain experimental. So let us see the location of it. LangChain underscore experimental dot agents is the one. This kind of code updating, code changing, you will also experience it. You will see that the code is working well in my system. Maybe after a week or 2 weeks, if you're executing, you may see this type of error, and we have to live with it for next 1 or 2 years, that until unless everything kind of stabilizes. Dot agents, dot agents, dot agent toolkits, import, create Pandas data frame agent, and then we use this one. So my data frame is income data frame. Like the way we have asked questions earlier, we can now ask questions to this data frame agent. This data frame agent, you can think your data frame has become a person now. And your data frame has become a AI agent right now. And you can ask anything to that AI agent. You can ask very difficult questions or easy questions. How many rows and how many columns are there in the data set? Internally, there is a Python code that is generated, and there are these many rows, these many columns. You don't need to write Python code anymore. You can ask slightly complex questions also. For example, what are all the mean? What are the mean, median, mean, minimum, and maximum values for the numerical columns in the data set? Let us see. It has to first get all the numerical values and then calculate the minimum, maximum, all of the numerical values. It will give you minimum for age, mean value, minimum, maximum. For FNL weight, mean, minimum, maximum. For education number, mean, capital gain, mean, minimum, maximum. So it is giving mean, minimum, maximum. Even if you ask somewhat complex questions, it will be able to answer. That doesn't mean that AI agents are going to replace humans in near future. Agents are not working perfectly everywhere. We have seen one such example. Right now, if you ask me, our companies did they already start using AI agents? My answer is no. Are they experimenting with AI agents? Yes, a lot of companies are experimenting with AI agents because inherently AI agents have some issues, especially when you're solving a particular task. Right now, since we are in training, even if the output is appearing or if the output we are not able to get, it's okay. We can check and we can go ahead. But when you have built an application, you want to make sure that you are giving a consistent output. You don't want fancy stuff in your final applications, but you want consistent stuff. So some of the issues with AI agents, very frequently seen issues as of today, are agent stop due to iteration limit. You asked a question, but it kept on iterating. Finally, it said that I have run for multiple iteration. I'm not able to think. Agent stop due to iterations. The other issue is agent stop due to iteration limit may happen, but once somebody executes, some other user may get the answer, and you don't want to do that. You want consistency. If one user is getting this, you want the other user also to get that only. Once I execute it, it said that I have stopped due to iteration limit. Here also it is using calculator, but still it is not able to invoke that. Here also it is using calculator. It gave the it went through the right action process, and then it could give the approximation. It also very much depends on the LLM that you are using. If you're using a powerful LLM like OpenAI, then the thoughts and the observations will be accurate. You will get the results. But if you are using a poor LLM, which is not as great as OpenAI, then the LLM thoughts that you will get generated, they may be not perfect. Due to that, agent may stop at the iteration limit. The other common issue that you will find with AI agents is error code 400. You have consumed maximum length. You are using LLM. Agent is thinking in that thinking process. You have used 1,000 tokens here, 1,000 tokens, 5,000 tokens. Then it will say that you have consumed too many tokens. I will not be able to actually proceed with that. That means there's no problem with agent. There's no problem with iterations. There's a problem with the limit of tokens in LLM. Right now, there are no solutions for these problems. Probably in future, people might come up with some solutions. People will come up with maybe token limit. We may have open source LLMs like DeepSeek or some other LLMs might come into the picture, or these problems will be solved probably in the next couple of years. Now, what companies are doing? The companies are not really building their own agents. What I have observed when I interacted with a lot of experts, when I talked to people who started already implementing Gen AI in their teams, when I talked to them, what I understood is companies are not building their own custom agents. This is not what they're doing. The companies are not asking their teams to actually build these agents. No, that is not true. What they're doing is they are looking for some small companies that are building agents and then giving that as a service. This is what companies want to do. They want to hold somebody accountable. If I build my own agent, if it is not working, then I cannot really hold anybody responsible or accountable. But if a company comes to me and tells me that, you know what, we have built an AI agent product, you can use it to reduce your execution time. You can use it to make your whole employees much more productive. Companies will quickly adopt this. Has it ever happened to you? You're working in a company and they have purchased one AI agent tool or AI software and they started asking you to work on it, but that is not really Gemini or that's not directly OpenAI or something like that, but they are asking you to work on a private entity which has developed AI product based on this. One such example is there's something called Pandas AI. Pandas AI is a company or it is a small product. Now I myself can create this kind of Pandas data frame agent. But instead of creating Pandas data frame agent, I will use somebody else's product. Now, what is the difference if I use Pandas data frame agent? Now that is free. I have done it by myself. Versus if I'm using Pandas AI as a product, somebody else's product. What is the main difference here? I have to pay to this person. But I'm ready to pay as a company. Companies are ready to pay. What is the advantage? Why companies are ready to pay versus why they're not willing to take the free stuff? Because inside a company, inside an organization, we want the things to be done with consistency, especially if there is a company that is doing all that research. It will be easier for them to resolve the queries or the issues. Whenever there's an issue with agent, we will not really be wondering how to resolve it. We will directly go back to them since we have purchased license from them. Then we can ask them. Then they will be actually their research team will be solving. So this is the trend right now. You will see a lot of small startups within Bangalore or within Hyderabad. They're small AI startups that are solving a small or that are creating a small AI solution and selling it to a very big company as to save a little bit of time or to increase the productivity. So how does that work? the same agent that we have created, but this time without creating the agent, we will directly use somebody's tool. So this is the product that is given by Pandas AI. The company name is Pandas AI BI, I guess. Pandas AI BI. Is that the link? So this is the one, pandas bi.ai. So let me go to that link. So let's say if I'm a company, I will be buying the product from these people. Now look at this, not a secure website. Let me go back to safety anyway. So this is the website. On that, we will get the API key. Looks like there is an issue, but let us see whether it will work or not. So we will install Pandas AI. And then what this company is saying is you create something called smart data frame. You convert the data frame to smart data frame, then automatically you can ask all the questions to it. So we need to get their API key. Obviously, it's a paid service, so we have to purchase their API key. Now I have got my data set. It is the regular Pandas data frame data set. Later, what I'll do is I'll convert into a smart data frame. You have your data frame, convert it into smart data frame. Once you have converted into a smart data frame, you can have a conversation with your data frame. That is the whole point of it. So that means I will ask smart data frame. So KC house price is my data frame name. King County house price data set. That means it has all the house price, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, what is the price of the house, what is the location of the house. Different details are given in it. Let's have a quick look at the data frame. It is installing too many things. Let us give it a minute for installation. So what we are doing, what I'm trying to demonstrate here is the future of AI agents. We will be buying a lot of products that are built on this concept of AI agents, which we will be using those products that will increase our productivity by 10x or probably 50x. Earlier, we have to write lots of lines of code. Now they will give us options that will help us to understand the data, analyze the data very quickly, very swiftly. So it's installing, it's uninstalling, it's doing so many things. Let us see finally whether it will work or not. This is taking a bit more time than we are expecting. It's been like 2 minutes. It is still installing. Looks like it's a very big package. Or to work with that Pandas AI package, it looks like we have to work with multiple libraries. They're installing all those libraries. Installing. Initially, there were a lot of messages about installation, attempting uninstalling of this, successfully uninstalled. Hopefully, there is no virus in this. Installing Torch, uninstalling. My God. Earlier, it was not taking this much time. Earlier, it used to take hardly 1 minute of time, then installation used to happen. Now it is attempting to install too many things. What I'll do is I'll just stop this installation and carry on with whether it will work or not. We'll see that. Fine, I have stopped this installation. Now I will go ahead. Now it is saying that no module named Pandas AI, which means we have to install everything. But anyway, let it install in the backend then. I will just show you what may be the result of Pandas AI. We will come back and check if it is installed. Then I will execute the rest of the things. So the way it will work is, so once you create a smart data frame, what it will do is you just say smart AI, smart data frame. Then how many rows and how many columns are there? The option here is the chat. Once you say smart data frame dot chat, if you ask a question, the same way internally the code will be created and that will be executed. And then once you ask print the column names in this data frame, it will try to print the column names. It will also do somewhat difficult tasks as well. For example, if I wanted to create a graph, then it will be able to do it because they have modified the original code to make it work everywhere. And maximum number of times, one thing that I have seen is the issue that we used to face earlier, agent stopped due to iteration limit, or agent has hit the higher side of the iterations or the tokens. Those issues are much lesser with this particular software that we are installing, which is like Pandas AI. So if we ask the question, plot a bar chart for the number of bedrooms column. So how many homes have 2 bedrooms, or how many homes have 1 bedroom or 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, like that. Draw a box plot for the price column. So if you ask for it, it'll ask. Even if you give a very complex query, draw a geographical map chart to show the location of the house, indicating the zip code using the color. Use longitude and latitude values to draw the geo map chart. So if you give such a complex query also by using longitude, latitude, it will actually draw this geo map chart, and it will use the zip code as a color representation. It's actually really the King County map chart is what we are checking. Somebody who knows Python coding also to draw a map chart like this, it may take 20 to 30 minutes if they're doing it for the first time. But if we have a software like this, or if we have an agent like this, it can do it quite quickly. So looks like installation is done. We will try to attempt the same. Now you have to create a data frame, which is, this is our data frame. This is King County data frame. The date the house got sold, how many bedrooms are there, how many bathrooms, what is the area of the house, etc., etc. Finally, where is the house, zip code, what is the size of the house, and what is the price of the house. That is the data that I have. So let us ask a couple of questions to this data frame. We are supposed to convert this data frame from KC house price data into a smart data frame. Now it is asking me for the API key. So let me execute the place where I have to give the API key. This API, you have to get it from this website. I don't think it is possible for you right now because it is kind of insecure website. I don't encourage you to go there. Probably, maybe if it is available somewhere, you can get it. Otherwise, you just observe how we are doing it. That's it. So you have your data frame, and then you create your smart data frame, and then you ask all the questions to this smart data frame. So I would say smart data frame dot chat. What are the column names in the data frame? There is an error. What are the column names? So Pandas AI helper, logger, etc., etc. If it works fine, otherwise we will just leave it. What are the column names in the KC house price data frame? Again, it is throwing an error. I will execute one more. If it works fine, otherwise we'll just ignore it. Looks like there is an issue. Probably while it is installing, it has installed several things, and sometimes when this happens, we may have to restart the runtime, and I don't want to. Okay, let's try that one more time. If it works, otherwise we will just try to understand it. My intention is not to really teach you these Pandas AI. My intention is to just tell you what is happening inside the companies right now. They're using these type of pre-built AI services from some of the companies when they are solving the problems. Let me restart the runtime. Let's restarting the session. NumPy size change expected 96 character. Python object. A totally nonsense error we got. But anyway, so usually if it works well, I think there would have been some update in that as well. If it works well, we should be getting this type of output. Maybe Pandas AI is one of the example of the product that I told you, but maybe some products are publicly available. Some products may not be available to us directly. They might be approaching the enterprise where they might have solved a particular problem. There would be an AI agent that is doing a good job for credit risk related tasks. There might be an AI agent that is doing wonderful in terms of claim processing in insurance. There might be an AI agent that is doing wonderful in terms of generating a lot of marketing flyers. There would be an AI agent that is doing wonderful in identifying early fraud warnings, etc., etc., which are already being built by some of the companies, and they are indeed approaching multiple other companies to use their service, obviously on a paid basis. Once again, I want to tell you that AI agents, as of now, that you see today, may not be perfect, but in future, we are going to see a lot of AI agents in our general life also. In our general life, we will be interacting with a lot of AI agents. When you walk near to your car, you will talk to your car saying that open the door will be opened. You will say start the car will be started. You will say start the AC will be started. I think it's already there, right? Have you seen it? In some of the cars, you can interact, you can talk with the car, especially in luxury cars. Yeah. Like that, you will be doing that. You will be having discussion or conversation with most of the general life objects that we interact with. So that is the story of AI agents. And that is pretty much it in generative AI, the kind of developments that are happening. Some of the things that we have seen right now, some of them are already kind of implemented in the industry, but most of them, the companies are still trying and figuring it out, whether it can be used or whether how safe is it, how ethical is it, or how safe or how can we really share our data with these LLMs. So companies are actually going through that phase, not really deployment phase. They are going through the phase of evaluation, whether we should do it or not. Right now, the world is actually there. But they are hiring people. They know that future is in Gen AI. Definitely, we have to make strides in Gen AI only. So that is it with this course. It's a crash course for you to decide whether one or two projects of Gen AI, if I want to show it on my CV, is it a good idea or not? Can I defend or not? Is the question. Whether you get the confidence or not is what you need to decide right now. Let's once again quickly go through the topics that we have discussed. Then I'll try to give you some of the resources that you may find very helpful if you want to take it further. So whenever people are talking about Gen AI, they are expecting you to have certain type of skills. As of today, maybe in future it may increase the list. They're expecting you to have a good prompt engineering skill. Are you confident in this? Is the first thing. Are you a good prompt engineer? Can you distinguish yourself from a general user of ChatGPT versus a pro user of ChatGPT who knows how this backend works, who knows how to get the things done? So this is the first skill that is expected from you. Are you good with it? The second skill is, can you interact with LLMs using APIs? That means you have to send some input to an LLM, you have to get the output, store it somewhere. Can you do this? Are you comfortable with LLMs and their APIs? The third aspect is, are you good with RAG? There are a lot of internal documents. Can you, obviously, within a half an hour, within 1 hour, like in our classroom, you cannot build an application. Given sufficient amount of time, given sufficient amount of direction, and sufficient amount of time to do trial and error, because this is the first time that we are building something, definitely companies will be giving you some time. Can you handle RAG? Can you handle memory and chatbots? Can you build chat kind of systems? Not really just question and answer. Can you handle chat kind of system? Is that possible? Are you confident with it? And then, can you build agents, or can you work with agents, or already some agent is given to you? Can you work with agents? Are you ready to explore into this? So these are the aspects that companies are right now figuring it out. Now, what is in buzz may not be what is in the industry. Right now, if you see the buzz, a lot of people are talking about vibe coding. A lot of people are talking about Gibble, that cartoons. A lot of people are talking about multi-agent systems. Or a lot of people are talking about agentic AI. So that is in the buzz. But if you ask me, people in the industry, have they started really implementing all these projects on all these topics? May not be. But in these, I can say that yes, maybe there is a good territory to start with. Now, one thing I want to tell you in these 3 days crash course, whatever we have discussed, that is to give you a very good quick start. Otherwise, to figure out these are the topics that we need to learn, that itself may take sometimes around 6 months or 8 months or 10 months. Finally, we decide that, okay, the rest of the topics are not that important. These are the things that I need to learn. So that itself takes a lot of time sometimes to knowing exactly what required. So here I try to give you what is the most important aspect of Gen AI that you must know, that I have given you here. Now, with this knowledge, I cannot expect you to create a project, create an application end to end on your own with just these 3 days of knowledge. But what I can promise is if there is already some person who is doing a project, you can be a good help to them. That means end to end, completely handling yourself, everything with this knowledge will be difficult. But when can you reach that? I'll give you some of the resources right now. Maybe in our classroom, in each of these sessions, we have done 2 or 3 projects. Hardly we have done 10 small projects. And I was kind of giving you all the guidance. So it looks very, very simple. So right now, what is your path or looking forward, what you must do after this session is, first of all, go through these videos, make sure that you understood everything in these videos. So that is the first thing. First one is go to the classroom projects, classroom exercises or classroom projects. The second one is do the assignments. You have seen the assignments, right? All of you. I've shown you the assignments. Just give me a confirmation, you know where are these assignments, right? So there were around 6 or 7 assignments. I think 6 assignments are there. So complete those 6 assignments. And then the third one is try to do at least 10 projects. 10 projects. And luckily for these 10 projects, I will already give you the pre-written code for them. Take the pre-written code. You try to solve it by yourself whenever you're getting stuck. You try to refer to that code. Unless until you do these 10 projects, you will not get the experience. So immediately after this program, you start a project. Imagine if you start a project, in the first step itself, you will be wondering what to do. Somehow you complete the first step, in the second step itself you will get stuck, because this is like starting our project without really getting that expert level or intermediate level or getting that real experience of the project. At least 10 projects, or maybe if you can do it, maybe 20 projects, maybe small, medium, large projects. So I'm going to give you a location where you can get a lots and lots of projects, not just one, not just two, hell lot of projects. And from there you can take 10 projects. Maybe I can give you 100 projects right now on GenAI, you take 10 out of them. So there is this GitHub link that I found where you have end-to-end generative AI projects. I'll paste this link in the chat window. This is the link in the chat window, end-to-end generative AI projects. So you have project 1, project 2, and so on, 84 projects. Some places you have each one of them, again, multiple projects. So I think somewhere I have found advanced rack, Olama use case, Meta Llama, different type of generative AI LLM projects, 30 plus generative AI LLM projects. You click on that, book summary, chat with multiple documents, chat with CSV files. Now, if you start your own project, it will take hell lot of time. The kind of progress that you will achieve in 4 or 5 months will be just 1 or 2 days worth. So I don't want you to start a project with half knowledge. I want you to at least complete, if not 5, 10, 20 of these projects. Whenever you get stuck, you have the script available with you. You just need to go through it. Then automatically, without your own sense, you will automatically realize that you are getting more and more confident. Are you with me, everyone? Is the plan clear?
Yes, sir.
And I
Yes,
can
sir.
guarantee you, with whatever we have discussed, you should be able to do any of these projects. Maybe 70 to 80% of it, it'll be easy for you. 20% it'll be difficult. I agree. But that is where, isn't it? Like you have to go to the next level. That means you have to practice. You have to do a little bit of research here and there and so on. You will be independent. Yeah. So this link, I have shared it. If even if you do not have this link in future, if you want to get it, you just write, what do you write? Gen AI projects, GitHub. You search for it, end-to-end generative AI projects. You check the first link. That is it, first link. Or maybe go to the second link. You may get even like, this is what I have seen, I have found. Probably you may have something better than this also. Let me add this to my repository. Maybe later on you can, or whenever you have, once you click on it, add it to your own repository so that you can refer to it without any issue. So I have pasted the file. Once again, I'm pasting it. Click on that file. You will be landing here. You simply fork it. You add it to your own repository. You say that as Gen AI projects, and then keep a copy. so that you don't need to really worry about later on exactly where is it. Yeah. Either you can use the link that I have given, you can add it to your repository, or always come to my GitHub and then you will find GenAI-projects. You'll be able to get it. I'm saying before you venturing into any new project, you try to complete 10 projects. If you complete 20, obviously you will be a kind of hot cake in the market. Everybody will be dying to hire you. Yeah. So that is it from my side.
Congratulations, you have completed the course now. You can check the rest of the courses in our playlist. I'll be adding few more videos in this playlist as well. Once again, congratulations. All the best to you.